at all, regardless of the joke or not.
Is the guy who provokes the action or the girl who provokes the action a victim or the cause?
Depends on the circumstance, I think. Because, and I hate to bring, because we talked about this yesterday, but a rape victim doesn't necessarily do, just because she's wearing something doesn't necessarily mean she should be raped. Because they said what she had on or something like that.
Right.
So that's why I think it depends on the situation, man, the circumstance of if that's a victim or what happened to become the victim. If you started on that, you should be the victim.
I don't think what you wear is a provoking act.
But some people say
I know people have used that as an excuse,
right?
But I don't think that's a valid excuse for a provoking act.
They'd say there was.
Because if you understand that rape is not an act of passion, you kind of throw out someone's attire.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it goes back to, Chris was going to make a joke. He's up there to make jokes.
We didn't know he was going to make a joke about this particular issue that we feel as a family is very sensitive.
But if you didn't know as a family if Chris didn't know of that situation.
I don't disagree with what you're saying.
So I'm saying you kind of got to look at it situation by situation, unfortunately.
I'm not saying you're wrong, Ron. I'm just asking the question, what makes a person a victim if they cause or provoke the act? Is that still a victim? That's the question I'm asking. So
it's a sticky situation, ain't it?
That's right. That's because shouldn't there be some ownership to the person that caused the action for the reaction that the person what is it? We watched the video. We watched the video some months back on Uncorked Wine where the Wahite man said something inflammatory to the black man. And he said something about did he call him a nigga, or he said something crazy to him that was really off base, and the black man proceeded to beat the living shit out of him. Well,
yeah,
y'all remember the video? Was in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay, so was the white man a victim, or did he get his comeuppance?
He became a victim.
He wasn't a victim. He invited that ish.
It's like what Sean said earlier, and then it applies to this scenario that, people don't want to take accountability for their part. Even with the Wahite man, he sees himself as a pure victim.
Right.
Yeah. Freedom of speech. I can say, sorry about that. I can say whatever I want to say. But he doesn't want to be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the victim line? Like with black people, I don't know what that is.
The hell is that?
Don't worry about it. I got it right. Ron, we gotta be low key about it. We gotta when we getting trolled, we gotta be low key about it.
Well, I just felt like a victim on that one.
Yeah. We did nothing to provoke that.
We did nothing to provoke that, and we got that stupid act.
Yeah. Where is the line where you're? Because I feel like lately, and Sean asked a great question: how much is social media played in this victim mentality? I think my answer to your question, Sean, is a lot. Because I think we're seeing more victims now than we've ever seen in the history of time.
Words have become more powerful because of social media, which made people fall into the victim role.
Well, we just talked about a story yesterday where the young lady said she went into the virtual world and was virtually raped. And now she sees herself as a victim.
We told you yesterday you can't use that term virtually raped
Well, she got what she wanted.
That's what she used. I'm using the term that she used.
She wanted attention, and that's exactly what she got.
So okay, so let's dig a little deeper off that statement. How much of this victimization that we're seeing, especially in the Black community, is just people wanting attention? They're 15 minutes. Like, so it goes back to what Sean says. I'm on social media. I can get these likes, these follows, these subscribes if I claim victimization. And so if I say I'm here because this person did X, Y, and Z to me, now people say, how dare they do? You know, Devon Franklin is out here in these streets again. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
And he's out here saying that he's on a show. I guess he's on some show on the OWN network or one of these networks. Married at First Sight. I don't watch that show, but he's on Married at First Sight.
Oh gosh.
And he said he's gonna offer people
Counseling.
I guess
Lord
help.
Jesus.
Invited to appear on the show sometime last year, agreed he's gonna help people with their relationships.
Nope.
Nope.
You need to sit on. You need to what do they do in the church? You need a sabbatical.
Right, take a sabbatical, bro. But maybe he feels empowered to do it because in his relationship he feels like the victim.
No, but he's the one that needs the help. So you can't be the one trying to fix other people.
But to play devil's advocate, you can learn from failure. So therefore, you can teach from failure, I would assume.
Yeah.
But has he had time to process the level of failure? Because it just happened, right? It ain't even been a year.
It's 6 months.
I'm just asking the question, and cuz just pulled up in these streets. Can the victim claim victimization, if they caused the problem? Because Black people will claim victimization now. We'll claim some victimization. The white man did the blood.
But do we claim victimization because we don't want the accountability? Because every time something happens, it's the white man, the Wahite man.
Yes, I'm sorry. You're right.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
The Wahite man did something to us. Or we go back to 1875 and start blaming stuff back there, which, again, gets us from taking accountability for stuff that we did.
This is an interesting conversation. Cuz, what are you drinking?
I didn't know if it was special apple juice.
It looked like a Michelob.
I look like a Modelo, but I'm just trying to process it. I'm like,
It's special apple juice.
That's Modelo.
Very special.
Is that Modelo or Michelob?
Only Modelo have a black man licking his tongue out like he's a reptile.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, welcome to the show, cuz. It's good to see you.
Is that Punani in the bottle, cuz? Is that why you doing
What
that?
Look, as my baby girl pull up.
Good job, Kyrie.
She about to get it.
What the hell?
That's the only other thing to make a man lick his tongue out like that, Lloyd. It's only one other thing to make you do it.
Is she listening to VRB?
Nah, she's at her mom's house.
I think she just wanted to say hi, but she's not gonna do that anymore.
Good job, Uncle Ron.
Yeah, she probably pulled a Homer Simpson real quick. Like, ooh.
Clearly,
No question about it.
Today.
this is not that fun conversation.
No question about it. No question about it. Cuz, do we play the victim too much, or do you want to give your salutations? What you want to do?
Well, I want to say good evening to everyone.
Come on, sir.
I do apologize for being late.
Well, that Modelo probably had you, feeling away.
Modelo.
My wife had me out there shopping with her and my daughter. And I'm sitting there looking like Daffy Duck with a Daffy Deal. Bored out of my damn mind. But I gotta do what I gotta do.
Okay.
So I don't dresses and shit like I give a damn.
Oh yeah, you do.
You can, yeah. You don't want your baby out here with an ass out.
Actually, what I did, I went over to the lingerie section because they had some nice night tops.
On the mannequins?
Certain material shows the woman's areola very well.
And you were looking for that.
I said, looking at the mannequins.
And I like those tops.
Are you pro areola?
So were you over there trying them on?
Wait, what?
Were you over there trying them on? You said you liked them tops.
Damn.
He was just touching the mouth, feeling the texture of the.
No. Kyra.
What the hell?
It's that certain white near cotton material, but it's thinner than regular cotton. You know what I mean? It really shows all of it. And I like those tops. In fact, I love them.
So was this a bad trip or a good trip? Because I'm hearing two different juxtapositions here. I'm not really.
I turned it around and made it about me.
You made it about you. That's how you turned it in. You took a negative and turned it into a positive.
And found out his preference of cotton.
Stop being a victim and turned yourself into a victor is what you did.
Either way, it turned him into a drunk because he used to never drink alone, and now he's drinking alone.
Now he's drinking alone.
No,
well, not really, because I think Ron's got a drink.
Listen, Ron. I mean, Rob.
That's Al.
Al B.
Oh, Lord.
Al B. When it's 100 degrees outside, like it damn near is right now, I drink alone.
Is it 100 degrees in your house?
Surely that AC is fixed by now.
Maybe it's not fixed on the west.
Here's the update. We went through the holidays with no AC downstairs. Been running these goddamn fans for damn 2 months now.
Thank the Lord for the fans.
Yeah.
With the fans only pushing hot air, the fan ain't doing a whole lot.
Love a good fan. Love a good fan.
But a convection oven is better than no oven. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but we are fortunate that they're coming in the morning at 8 o'clock. Put my shit in here.
Hey, air conditioning in the West Wing.
So it's just one. You just got to get one unit fixed, or the both units out.
Just one unit fixed. That upstairs worked. So the company that was here this weekend, they slept fine, but my wife and I was in the master bedroom sweating our balls off.
Okay, no, that both of y'all don't have them. I'm just
it'll just be your balls. It's just your
not
balls.
true at all. I will not let you come on here and say Opal has balls. That is.
I mean, that's concerning.
She is balling.
She act like she do.
If she's got balls, they're yours.
She holding on to them tight.
Right. She's holding on to yours.
Azaria, we will discuss lingerie to try to translate Mr. Joyner later.
We'll get that later. Question, Jay, what is a victim?
Listen, black people have been victims for so long, we are comfortable being victims. We don't even recognize that we are being victims. But
I believe that.
That's where we are. Likewise, white people have been. They've had that superiority complex for so long, they don't even recognize when they are.
Touche.
Being white supremacists. They don't recognize it, but they are. That's because the roles were fed to us by this country and its history. That's why racism is woven into the fabric of this country. So we have to be extremely intentional to undo what has been done. You can't sit silently and pretend that it's not real. Black people, generally speaking, we are more comfortable being victims because that's what we recognized as throughout the history of this country.
Yes.
So basically, you're saying we're scared to take accountability.
He said it time and time again. We need to hold ourselves accountable. So he's.
I agree with what you're saying, Ron. I don't know if it's that we're scared. We don't know how. We've never done it, really. We've always pointed the finger, and the finger should have been pointed at the systemic racism that exists in this country. It should have been identified, but we still needed to do our work. We couldn't stop there, but most of us did. We just stopped right there.
And that's why I say the accountability lies is we don't take accountability internal first. Deal with our own stuff. Sorry, Mama Noise. Sorry, I started.
But then we have also the part where we've been conditioned that, you know, you're not a victim. You just need to do better. You just need to keep your head down and just keep moving forward. And you know, don't cause no trouble and don't, you know, cause no ripples or nothing. So if it is something that's wrong, you don't, you know, I just remember a lot of that's where that, what's it called when we code switch and all that stuff come from. We're supposed to pretend like we're not black.
You're saying the solutions, if I'm hearing you correctly, that we're currently being offered to deal with the victimization are not healing, but rather assimilation. Go along to get along. You don't want to be a victim no more.
Right.
You transition out of victimhood by doing what we want.
You gotta talk like everybody, you know, you can't be yourself at all. You gotta talk like everybody else. You can't, you know, if there's a problem, you know, yes, massive. You know, you ain't saying it really massive, but I'm saying you just can't, no complaints. You can't, there's nothing, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can't complain. You got to pretend like, you know, I don't want no trouble. I mean, it just, I just think that we've been taught that that's what we're supposed to do.
Mama Noise, are you saying, I like where you're going with the conversation. Are you saying that the Wahites want us to assimilate, get along, stay in our place? Or is that something that we are teaching ourselves that we belong there? So just shut up and accept where you are and who you are. Is it coming from them or is it coming from us?
My answer to that would be yes. I think it's, and there's a third component. Because and I'll take you back to the 1800s and bring you all the way forward. The slave that did complain was killed. Or his feet was chopped off, right? We saw that, right? The slave that didn't complain made it to the house, but was still treated inhumanely. And then there's a third slave that didn't complain, did his job, and then just continued to live. That's where we are. We typically find ourselves on one of three spectrums. We don't complain, and we just go to work and we put our heads down and we pray to God that today ain't the day that somebody crosses me. And we just do and we go along to get along. And I don't really like Becky, but I'll tolerate Becky for this paycheck. I'll do whatever I got to do to keep getting this paycheck to pay my bills. Some of us will say, well, I'll do better than that because I'd like to get a promotion and some more money. So let me go to the job and get along and be personable and let people know who I am and try to, you know, do well at my job, but also get to know some people. And by the way, you feel how you want to feel about that. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying.
But how does that because in those jobs, even in black-owned businesses and black
Oh
jobs,
no.
you have to be professional at some point. So
But
how
what
does
is
that
what does
how does that take
professional
away
look
from
like?
professionalism? Because
But what does professional look like, though, Ron?
that's what I'm
Does
saying. But you
professional
can't.
look like? Are you allowed to go to a corporate meeting and say, "Yeah, y'all should have seen what I did last night"?
And that's what I'm saying. So you have to. I know we call it simulate, but you have to change in order for you to. Damn, I hate to say maintain, but you can't go in a job as a hood person. It's not going to work.
But okay, and that's
I'm trying
really
to
my
figure out the
point.
best way to say it. I couldn't.
But
find it.
why do we have to completely shift from our natural personalities? Because even if it's not hood, you just can't go real black. Like if you go too black, it's gonna be a problem.
Like you said, I think that's where that thin line comes in because at some point you got to grow out of that ghetto mentality.
Okay, but take the ghetto out of it. You can't go to some meetings with cornrows in some facilities. You can't go. You can be the best number cruncher in the building, and they won't promote you because you choose to wear cornrows or twist or whatever it is, or you choose to have Malcolm X, a picture of Malcolm X on your desk, or whatever. Why do we have to change our persona? And
to make them feel
comfortable, right?
All right. So listen. This shit here about to get good. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but it's about to get good.
About to. Feels like it.
It was already good, nigga. Where you been?
Right, it was kind of good weekly, actually.
Before you answer, think about your answer before you answer. In fact, we can come back to it later on if you want. But of those three that you named, and give us those three again. Get along.
Go along, get along. We'll say to simplify, go along, get along, and I don't know what we'd call the third one. Maybe
the third one will be survival.
Survive along, I guess.
The third one, because the third one's truly your survival one.
You're just surviving.
Where do you, gentlemen, and you too, Mama Noise, I mean this. Where do you consider yourself on that spectrum? Where have you been? Where are you now? Are you still where you've always been? Are you a get along? Are you a yassa? Are you a radical? Are you fighting for? Where are you? Where have you been? Where do you see yourself going?
That is a great question.
And I say that because generally speaking, most people evolve. A lot of who we were was taught to us.
Mm-hmm.
We accepted it from our parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I think based on how Lloyd described it, I look at that as those are the steps. So I think your step one, I think Lloyd, you call it he wasn't in the house yet. What did you call him? The get along, the get there, or which Negro was he?
We got to identify him.
Phil?
Well, listen, I'm going to add one more to the group.
Okay.
Let me write these down because now we're getting confusing.
And that's them ninjas. Yeah, write them down. I agree. And that's them ninjas that believe that we absolutely don't have a problem.
So how about this one? You got field, house, survival, and then I guess cuz is the radical.
The one you just described would be
the ones that were living up north that felt like that there was nothing going on down south, that we don't have a problem, that you are in the position you're in because of you, not a system. Not
maybe
can we call them Tim Scotts?
Ooh. Wow. Yeah, we want to put names.
I just call them denials, but your words.
Well, and I'll say this because I'm about to depart. Because I love you and I'm happy to even be sitting here talking to y'all today, but I feel a fever coming. So, but I think it's unfortunate, but I don't think you can just be one. You can't just be get along. You can't just be go along. I think at certain instances, certain situations, certain instances, you have to be a get along guy, and sometimes you have to be a go along guy, and sometimes you have to be that rebel, that outlier. That what did you describe him as? The one going against the grain. You have to be that
We'll
person.
call him unapologetically, like Sean said.
Yeah.
Right. So, but in most of our cases, it's all in an attempt to survive.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I think you go through each one of those stages throughout your life. Because as a kid, you think one way. As a sub-adult, you think another way. As an adult, you think one way. And then once you get to that older phase in your life, you start to think things a little bit different. Because when you become an adult, you're really thinking survival. How do you survive every day? How do you make it every day? How do you maintain it every day? That's why, to me, I think you go through all 4 stages throughout your life. I don't think you ever won always.
You shouldn't be. I agree with that. You learn better, you do better.
Right. Because as a kid, you can call yourself the radical as a kid. You don't know no better. You doing stuff just because. You don't really start finding yourself until you get to that sub-adult and adult.
Well, I just remember as a growing up that I was just my mom just
Indian. I owed you one. I owed you one. So I figure I get it out now before Cuz get his out.
Okay.
Was that what you wanted to say, Mama Noise? Okay.
That's sufficient, but I probably would have said I ain't going back and forth with you.
Oh, you going hardcore? Well, listen, say what you ain't going back and forth with you.
There you go.
Anyway, my mother always told me I was a chameleon because I was able to fit in no matter what environment that I was placed in. But I felt like that was fine for a season. But then at some point, I just felt like, okay, I need to say something. I mean, it's okay that, I fit in and that's fine. But, there were things that I saw that I'm like, okay, I don't know if I agree with that. But because, I'd been taught by, grandparents and all those, people in my life that, you gotta, that don't cause no trouble now. You won't do, you don't cause no trouble with those white people. Don't cause no trouble. You don't want to be, don't rock the boat. Don't go in there talking loud. Don't say this, don't do. And it's like, dang, you just shut me all the way down. You don't want me to do nothing but just come in there, keep my head down and do my job. You don't want me to grow. You don't want me to excel in the job. Just, don't be trying to get promotions because then they be thinking you trying to. And it's like, gosh, I don't know how we do it. I don't know how we do it.
I want to answer Cuz's original question. Which one do I think I am? I think at this stage in my life, I'm probably more unapologetically Black than I am anything. But that's because I've shifted my life to a different place. And so my positioning kind of affords me the opportunity to be that way. But I also understand how the world works. So if I need to get along to get the deal done, I'll do just that. Which I don't know what that makes me at that point.
Survival.
Does that make sense? Right. Because now it's like I'm surviving and I'm pushing for survival. But I also understand I like being my authentic self. I've enjoyed being my authentic self all the time and not having to make apologies for that. or to adjust that in any way. I sleep better that way.
But you also understand when you got to switch code, like we always say, you got to code switch. You know at what point you have to code switch to get your survival mode to help you maintain what you have in order to be your unapologetic self.
So with that being said, Ron and Cuz and Mama Noise and noisemakers, can Black people in these situations truly be victims when we understand the rules of the game? If the game is we know coming in, listen, if the essentials to survival as a Black person in America are learning your ABCs, your 1, 2, 3s, and your ability to code switch, how can you call yourself a victim at any point? If you know that's how the game, if you know that's how the game is played, and that's how you win. And that's exactly, listen, when Mama was saying to you, you got to be twice as good as them to get half of what they got, she was telling you, you got to learn how to play this game.
I think we learned to play the game. We never learned how to evolve the game. So we play the game. We understand how to play the game. But we never took the game over and became our own bosses.
Because we're playing their game.
We're playing their game.
And we're not going to win playing their game.
Right.
So, but if you choose to keep playing their game, can you really truly call yourself a victim at that point? Because you're choosing to play their game.
I don't know if it's your choice. I don't know if you're choosing. That's all we know.
Or all you have.
I never considered myself. This is full disclosure. I'm 100% naked, Mama Noise, as a jaybird. I never considered myself a radical. I was always a get along. I probably had just as many close white friends as I have had Black friends over the years. In fact, I said to myself, I'm naked now. I'm naked, Mama Noise. If you can't handle it, turn off your camera. I said to myself, self saying, huh?
No, get back here.
I said, why do I need more Black friends? I already know how to play spades. I already know how to play domino. I'm damn good at barbecuing and frying fish. Why do I need more Black friends? That's what I used to say to myself. I'm being honest now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've always had Black friends, my lifelong friends, but I really didn't seek out more Black friends as much as I did white friends. But the older I get, the more successful I am as a person, the more I say to myself, once again, self say, nigga, what do you want?
Wow, self was aggressive just then.
It's time for me to be myself. It's time for me to be honest with who I am. And I refuse from this point forward to not be honest. Which is why I come on this here podcast and lay it all out every single time I'm on it. I said, whether you can accept it or understand it or not. I said,
but it kind of goes back to what I said earlier.
Because if we are playing chameleons, then what are they doing?
Right.
Are they being honest with who they are?
And a lot of times I don't know if they are.
They're playing the game too.
Exactly.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, so this is naked day. Let me just get my naked on.
Oh, what the?
We'll all be naked together. It's a free world. Free world.
Everybody's naked, ain't no shame. Everybody
right. Take away the shame.
Mama Noise, see, I wait till Thursday, no draw Thursday.
Use all my guilty shame. I went to the Lord's for that.
No.
Okay. I remember we used to play in this men's retreat with a Wahite church down the street.
Oh, I've been there, done that too.
Every year we plan this men's retreat. We're gonna go away and get in the woods and talk Jesus and love on each other and heal as men. Brothers in the Lord.
Yeah.
And we did that we did about 6, 7, 8 years. And I'll never forget, we were sitting in a restaurant. He's telling the truth though, but listen, we were sitting in a restaurant. I was sitting there with one of the coordinators, and one of the brothers asked, "Hey man, have you ever been to such house?" We'll call him Jimmy, the white guy. Jimmy, you ever been to Jimmy's house? I said, "No, I ain't never been to Jimmy's house." Has Jimmy ever been to your house? I said, No, Jimmy, I never. Not only has he never been to my house, but I've never invited him to my house. He said, "Well, do y'all really have unity if ain't nobody ever been to each other's house? You don't even outside of this retreat. You don't even see each other. You don't call each other. I mean, is it real?" And I said, "Oh man, so we just in here church line, huh?
It looks good.
Lying for Jesus,
Lying for the Lord.
As long as we accept their beliefs, their behaviors, their norms, as long as we accept that, they will invite us into the fold. Brother this and brother that.
but it's on their terms.
And I used to buy, exactly, it's only
Yeah.
on their terms.
Yeah, it's on their terms. They don't want my whole blackness.
No,
They
don't.
They want my image of blackness
They want their image of blackness.
or
Their
their
image.
image of blackness. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't want mine.
They don't
right.
want-
I listen to Jay-Z.
I agree. Well,
Yeah.
that's some hardcore truth you just told them.
It is, but it's the truth. It is the truth, though. But now here's the other part of it. For those of us, because remember, y'all missed the most important part of my story. Remember, I said we planned this retreat together for 7 or 8 years. I chose to be a part of those plannings.
Been there.
So does that make me a victim or the part of the problem?
Both.
We didn't know anything.
Okay, so I again totally agree. But then flip it. We do the same thing in our own community with our own people. We co-switch with each other, which is just as bad of a game as we're playing with them.
We do what with each other?
We code-switch with each other in our own communities.
I'm not gonna get my Indies chicken if I don't code switch. They don't understand no other language.
I mean, listen, I
I tried
got
to go in there and speak the King's English. They don't understand it.
my child speaks proper English. Even when I say speak the way I speak, normally she's like, "Are you saying like freaking?" I mean, she's giving the whole proper pronunciation of whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, that's what she learned in school. That's the way she's always spoken. But then, like I said, when I go to Indy's Chicken, I can't come up there and say, "Okay, Zaria, order the chicken." So she can say, "We would like 5 wedges with all the enunciation of all syllables. And we would like, do you have a salad? Okay, no, move out the way. We won't." And and then she's talking to other relatives or something. They like, "Where are you from?" Because you using all the vowels and all the
Mama Noise, we started this show by saying I don't like playing spades with white people because they use rules like nil. You can go nil. The hell is a nil? I don't know what that is. What is that? It's not spades. So I'm not going to bid no books.
Do white people play spades?
They do. Believe it or not, they play their version of spades. It's terrible. It is terrible. Cuz it is terrible. I hated it.
I love
like,
it,
it's
sorry.
terrible. I don't know who put this game together. This is like Go Fish. I'm not sure what this is. But they use nil.
Let me say this to help Mr. Zaria out. Number one, keep your clothes on, baby. We got our clothes on. Y'all scared that baby earlier. She say she don't want to get naked.
Well, you started it.
She did say she didn't want to be naked. Don't be naked, baby.
Anyway,
Mr. Jaybird.
Listen, I have been accused of all my life. This is the God honest truth. I got a black mama and a black ass daddy.
I'm not gonna respond to that.
Black brother raised in Black Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh my God.
On the west side, which is the real black side. But I've been accused of all my life trying to speak differently. And if you have listened to this show long enough, these gentlemen have talked to me before the show and after the show. I talk how I talk. I am who I am. And I don't code switch on that.
Right.
I don't.
What?
So,
You mean you be telling your clients you wrong as 4 left shoes?
God doggone right I do. Listen. Most of what I say is not necessarily racial as much as it is country.
Oh, okay.
But I don't mind saying it.
Yeah, Mama, you could be country and corporate at the same time.
Well, see, I'm
Country and corporate.
I'm not in corporate, and I thank God I'm not in corporate because I've never wanted to play that corporate game.
That's Charlotte saying that's not true.
Talkin NOIZ said you need to keep it real, keep it a buck.
I'm keeping it real. I speak the same, generally speaking, all the time. So if the blacks can't handle it, if the whites think I'm a certain way, I don't give a damn. My point is, be true to who you are and stop switching for blacks and stop switching for whites.
But I'm not accepted if I don't switch.
And I would say that is what you want out of life.
Right.
But the problem that you run into is until you get to that comfort level in your life when you can come back and say, you know what, I'm tired of code switching. I am who I am.
I am who I am.
I'm gonna be the ass that I'm gonna be.
Right.
Are we gonna be jobless with that type of attitude?
No, and you won't if we evolve the game. We're too busy still playing their game and never evolving the game.
And it doesn't have to be with anger or disrespect.
Right.
I am who I am. You have to accept who I am. Just like I have to accept who you are.
So I say, look here, Bill, I ain't coming over there.
Yeah, you can do
I'm
that.
gonna stay right over here.
You can do that.
And I'm gonna need you to understand what I'm saying.
Because I'll do that in my job today. I'm just as country, and I can bring some people on that work with me. They'll tell you, RB, why are you just as country? I talk fast when I'm in meetings, but it took me a long time to get to that comfort level where I could do that. When you broke, because you got to make money, you got to survive, you got to make sure you got the things you have. But once you get to a point that you get comfortable,
okay, here's the other code switch part. I've been most of my jobs, I had been a receptionist. Before I got an education, I was a receptionist for different law firms and different doctors' offices and things like that. I could not speak where my accent comes through, or I would never have had any of those jobs. I had to be able to, thank you for calling Reckon Wall and Associates. This is Kay Clark. How can I help you? Oh, Kay, how are you doing? I hadn't talked to you in a while. I'm doing wonderful. How are you? I mean, because that's what they paid me to do. They didn't care about what makes me comfortable. They don't care about, my feeling comfortable in my own skin and
you said they paid you to code switch?
They paid me to be the first Alexis. Ain't nobody paying Alexis to be like, I heard it. Somebody said, I don't know if it's true, but they said you can get, the ghetto Alexis to be like, what? When you say Alexis, what do you want? Okay. You want me to order something? Well, tell me what you want. I mean, you want the hood Alexis, but people don't pay for that. They pay for the, how may I help you? How can I serve you? Is there anything, that's what they say at Chick-fil-A, how may I serve you? And people be like, man, they got the best customer service on the planet because they say, how may I serve you? Instead of, what you want. Or
But implying this the way that you are and the way that we have implies that if we are our authentic Black self, we can't be personable, we can't be professional, we can't be
successful.
And that's dangerous to me.
Now you're saying something.
Yeah, that's dangerous to me because
Go on. I'm sorry.
No, I'm doing. I'm just because we be in the same car.
But think about it. You pay for you own your company.
Mm.
You have a certain expectation of what you expect from those who work for you because you're paying them.
Mm-hmm.
I expect John to come in with his pants up, with a belt on, dress shirt, clean shaven, looking professional. That is my requirement for him. I pay for him to do that. Why is that wrong? If that's my requirement for him in order to have that job.
Okay, I missed something when you said that. Say that again. You pay for him to do what now?
I own my company. I pay John to come in every day, his pants pulled up,
okay,
belt on,
okay,
shirt on, nice little shirt on, clean shaving every single day.
So when I hear you say that, Ron, the implication that I hear is that I don't want him sagging. I don't want his hair unkept, whatever that statement means.
Right.
And I don't want him acting
with a raggedy beard.
Or I don't want his beard.
Yeah.
Okay. So my point of saying it the way I just said it was, why is because I've seen white guys look like what you're talking about.
But I'm saying that it's a company. I expect everybody to do this.
But hold on. But the implication was because that's not intrinsically Black, is what I'm saying.
Right. It's
that,
not.
That other look that you're talking about is not intrinsically Black. I've seen as many white guys look that way with long ponytails and unkept beards and their pants sagging. I've seen that as well. So what I don't want us to do is to create looks and narratives that victimize us to make us feel like we are not, that if we put a little swag in it, just a little bit, that now all of a sudden it's too over the top. That doesn't make it over. If I wear a dashiki instead of a collared shirt, that doesn't make me less professional.
It doesn't, but I'm going back to what Mama Noise said. If I own a business and I have a code that I want you to go by, if you want that job, you have to go.
But I'm saying the codes sometimes are unfair because you're trying to say that your version of professionalism is better than my version of professionalism.
But if it's my job and my company, it is my preference on what that look is. Not yours.
Jay, please.
I'm hiring you.
Let the man with the finger go.
What we have to do is get over our inferiority complex because it feeds our mentality. What we're actually saying right now is being Black is actually uneducated and uncouth. That's what we're really saying. If I speak properly, I'm being white. If I speak slang, ghetto, country, street, I'm being Black. Why can't I be educated and Black?
You can be educated. You can, but again, you can. But I'm just saying, if I'm running my business and I expect a certain thing, that's what I'm going to hire. I'm expect.
Okay, but I can give you your certain thing and still be as Black as I want to be.
And you can still be Black.
I can come in your suit. My shirt and my whatever you want, my pants pulled up and all that. I give you all that. But I'm still gonna give my brother across the hall like, what up, nigga?
And again, it's as long as that is perfectly fine. As long as we say it's perfectly fine in that job. You just can't go in and make your own rules up in somebody else's business.
But I think that's part of the problem. I don't think it's making a rule up. I think it's just a preference that they might have versus a preference that we might have, or not even preference. It's a level of comfortability. You're uncomfortable because I'm being myself. That's not right. That's not job. That's you being uncomfortable. Ain't got nothing to do with me.
It's your business.
No, but Ron, then don't hire me.
That's the point.
Right? Don't hire me to be somebody else. Hire me because you want me.
Right.
But hold on, Ron. Hold on. What I'm saying is this. You hired me because you wanted me. You don't get to choose the me that you get. I get to be me.
No,
so if you don't want me, no, you don't get to choose the me. I'm me.
You interview for the job. I'm choosing who I choose at the interview.
But if I showed up to the interview and was me, you don't get to change me once you hire me. You hired me.
But I'm saying that if I hired you for who you are, that's who I'm accepting. But if you come in and you don't have on what I expect you to have for the
that's a different thing, Ron. That's a different thing. But that's a different thing. We're not talking about that.
But I'm saying I never told you to change. I gave you the parameters at the beginning of the job.
Ron, you're missing the point. I'm not saying that I'm going to break your code of the way you want me to look on the outside. That's a different thing. Every job has written and unwritten rules, like Anthony Bruce is saying. I get it. But my thing is, your written or your unwritten rules have nothing to do with who I am. I am who I am. You hired me, so I get to be who I am. Now, I'll fit who I am into your rule, but I'm not going to change who I am just because you put some rules.
But if you're fitting into my rule, you're changing who you are.
No, not necessarily.
No.
Not necessarily. That's not true.
How not?
Because there are always uniform codes and standards.
Right.
I have to wear a suit to work, but I'm not really a suit wearer. So I will conform to that standard while I'm at work.
Exactly.
I have a script I have to read in order to be the face or the voice of the company. I will conform to that standard. That's fine. We have to get past that. We still have codes and uniforms and standards that we have to adhere to as employees.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about.
It does not change me and who I am.
But for why you in that building, you're conforming to those codes and those rules and those regulations.
But that's not code switching. That I don't see that as code switching. I see that as just following the rules. Yeah, following the rules is following the rules. If there's rules, everybody got rules for something that you got to do. So you do and those rules should be set up because they are the standard for which the company is successful.
Right.
That's different. We're trying to make this company successful. I'm all on board, and I'm gonna do what our rules say we need to do to make the company successful. There's nothing wrong with that. And I don't see that as code switching. It's code switching when you're saying, oh, and by the way, you're a little too ghetto when you go on this sales call. Well, wait a minute, what makes me too ghetto? Because I'm black and I'm strong in my language or my approach. That makes me ghetto.
No, I had to change my whole name when I was doing the little read the scripts and stuff. I knew I got a certain reaction when I said, "This is Kenyatta Clark." It was like click. You
didn't have to, but you decided
you chose.
I'm going to be more successful if I do it this way.
As long as I say, "Hi, this is Kay," and then it was like, "Hi, Kay." I'm going, okay. I'm getting more of a conversation and less hangups when I come in pretending to be somebody else.
Right. I just think, because see, to your point, Ron, what happens in those scenarios that you're talking about is I switch up my code to accommodate not just your rules, but your culture. And now when I don't get the promotion, when I don't get to this, when I don't get to that, now I'm screaming racism because I did everything you asked me to do and you still passed me over. You still didn't hire me. You still didn't promote me. You still didn't do it. So my thing is, damn that, I'm going to be me. And if me gets me promoted, then so be it. I'm going to say something that I have never said on this show before.
You gonna get naked too? Again, naked.
Balls out. We doing it. That's what we're doing today. My last job was probably the blackest I've ever been on a job.
That is hilarious.
It probably was. And the reason being is because I'm gotten older now and I just don't care no more. And by the way, this was a strongly white facility, white situation. I mean, they were as white as can be.
The blackest I've
I just refused to play that game with them. You hired me because I'm good at my job. You hired me because and by the way, I refuse now. I'd be cordial and I would speak to people and all of those things, but I'm just not going to be this token dude that you're looking for. I can't do that.
Oh, Jay, don't put the finger up. We got.
Maybe I was black. Maybe the last 5-7 years of my life I've been blacker than I've ever been. I won't say it's just this last job because I've been pretty black these last 7 years. I think
there are white people that conform to the standards, the code, the uniforms of corporate America, even though in their hearts of hearts they're hillbilly rednecks. But there are some white people that actually bring that mentality into corporate America. They will still wear their cowboy hats. They still wear their spurs with their suits, their boots with their suits.
Mm-hmm.
They still have who they are, even though they are attempting to conform to the standards, the code, the uniform. We have to be more intentional as blacks. I'm one of them Negroes that used to say, you know what? If they require you to cut your dreads, cut your dreads. But I'm changing my mentality now. I'm changing. I'm being naked. Nigga, if you want to wear your dreads, wear your dreads.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Just you gotta.
But
you gotta take what comes with that as well.
Well, the problem is, I agree with that, Ron. But the problem is, they have to learn to accept us for who we are with our own hair. Also,
I agree with that.
A black girl shouldn't suffer because her hair is different than a white girl.
And we 100% agree with that. But at the same time, again, you still got to deal with whatever it is that.
But that's the problem. Okay, so then that makes her a victim.
That makes her a victim.
That does make her a victim.
As long as she's been discriminated against, yes, that's making her a victim.
Because we have a mutual friend right now he is extremely talented in his job. He has been for several years. Works for the state of Texas. Very good. We've watched him do his job at a very high level. Now part of it is he don't want to play the game. But he has his dreads and he keeps them very neat, but he also wears his shirt and tie and does his job at a high level. And he probably will never in that company be promoted. Though he has helped many of his bosses to exceed their exceed company expectations and to also get promotions themselves. He will not get the promotion. And probably the number one reason is because of his appearance. And he doesn't have sloppy stank dreads, and he's a real nice looking, neat guy. But he won't play the game.
But what we have to do once again is play long ball. And understand that white people have to change their mentality too, towards our appearances. Why do we always have to try to look so damn European? We're not.
Say it again. Look what?
European.
European. Why do we always have to try to look so refined and white?
So they can feel comfortable.
Black women for 100 more of years spent money on